Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 111. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, everybody out there.
Hello, all. So, I finished Pandora's Tower, and it is good. I wouldn't go so far as to call it great, but I would call it a solidly good game.
Yeah,
I very much enjoyed it. Uh, Played it for about 23 hours. I think a little short of 25. It's one of those games that it has a new game plus mode.
uh,
It's like, do you want the true bestest ending? Play the game again. I don't want to play the game again. I played it. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I don't want to play it again. One of the things is there are locked rooms that you
yeah,
will come across in each of the towers. And I figured that you'd find a key at some point and have to go back. No, once you play through it again, a key is available to buy from the shop, and then you can go around and open those doors. And the only thing in them are just little items and things that you can use to craft to fully upgrade your weapons. And I'm like, that's cool, but I'm
yeah.
done. I watched the different endings on YouTube. I'm good. you know, I got the different endings are based on your affinity with Elena, the gal
Yeah.
who's turning into a slimy purple tentacle monster, and so the higher where your affinity is at, it depends on what how good the ending is. If you're
Yeah.
like under half affinity, the game stops halfway through and she turns into a monster and eats you. Um, but if you're this much, you have an abbreviated battle with the final boss, and then you both die or something. Uh, then and it gets progressively better. And I got the B ending, and there's an A ending and an S ending. I don't think it's really possible. Well, if you just play the game through without grinding for relationship points, you're not going to S rank that ending. So the game is designed for a second playthrough because how you bond, how you improve your affinity is just like in real life. You give her presents and she likes you more. And I'm like, I
She's a
guess
girl
she's a
then.
material girl, yeah. I guess I could just load a save before the end boss and just constantly give her crap until she likes me enough to give me the good ending. Um, but nah, I didn't want to do that. Fun game though. I really do like the game. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm very happy that all of the Operation Rainfall games turned out to be good.
Yeah.
Uh, Chaos says, "Did I use the Wii remote or classic controller?" I used the Wii remote. Um, the only thing motion control, I'll take that back. There are two things that use motion control. One is you have a chain, kind of like Simon Belmont's whip, and you once you latch onto something, you can yank bits of flesh off of them to go feed your vegetarian girlfriend so she doesn't turn into a slimy purple tentacle monster, which is great fun. And so jerking up on the Wii remote is how you yank the chain back. I don't mind that. That's fine. There's another move that you can do is if you grab something with a chain and it's light enough, if you shake the nunchuck, you'll spin them around and like the hammer throw in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Um, and you can smack other enemies like that. That's really the only motion control. Other than that, you use the pointer to pinpoint where you want to cast your chain at, and that is. I don't think this game would play as well on a standard controller. I think you need the pointer. I've always said I don't really care about motion control in the sense that I genuinely don't really like motion control, but I do like the pointer.
Yeah.
Like the pointer. The pointer is good. Motion control I could do without. Um, who do I think would win, Tom Morello or Slash? I'm not versed enough for guitar guys to really weigh in with a with an educated opinion. So
Yeah, I have no idea who either of those are. The only Slash I know is the Ninja Turtles villain.
Okay, they're rock guitarists, so I know who they are. I'd probably recognize them, especially Slash. You know, I'd recognize them if I saw them, but I'm not really familiar enough to say, oh, who's definitely better. Dee, 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 dee. Okay, just reading through the chat. So, done with Pandora's Tower, and I've got Yakuza Kiwami 2 coming
Okay,
in a couple of days, so finish that just in time.
nice.
Chaos says Flash easy. Okay, not gonna argue because I honestly don't know.
See, I don't think I've played anything new this week, but I am excited because a while back I backed Zeboyd Games Cosmic Star Heroine on Kickstarter, and this week they finally released the Linux beta. So I installed it. I just haven't had time to sit down and actually play it yet. But everything I've read about it, everybody that's played it says that it's great. So I'm looking forward to finally being able to play. Um, but yeah, I really haven't played many games this week.
Yeah. Funny story. My sister texted me this morning, and she said she had watched for the first time in a while the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And she said she had forgotten how just what a genuinely fun movie that is. And she says I'm going to watch the rest of them, and she says I'm going to watch the rest of them 2, 3, and 4 and see how they hold up. And I
They don't.
said, and I said, don't forget 5. And she texts back, she goes, there was a 5th one. And then a few minutes later, she goes, oh my God, there was a 5th one, and I saw it. I totally forgot about it.
Come on, how can you forget? How can you forget Uncanny Valley? Uh, what's his face? Johnny
I
Depp.
I didn't. Oh, that's right. They do young Johnny Depp in that one. I've been trying all day. I didn't look anything up. I've been trying all day to remember anything about that movie, and I'm like nothing.
Yeah,
I
the only
haven't
thing
I
that
haven't
like,
seen it. I just saw the trailers and go, well, that
yeah,
looks crap.
it was terrible.
Because
The
4
first
was
the first
terrible.
one is great. The
First one's
second
great.
the
Second one
second
has a
one,
lot of great moments.
yeah, but then they had that forced sequel ending, and
I kind of like where it ends because
yeah,
it's just that shot is just so cool of Jack, about to stab of this gaping maw of teeth. It's just like, man, he's gonna lose, but what a way to go out.
yeah.
And then 3 is it has a couple of cool moments, but overall just doesn't work. And then 4 is just really bad, just genuinely
Yeah,
bad.
I don't even remember much about four.
And it has
I
Blackbeard as a
remember.
mermaid.
Is that the one with the mermaids?
Hmm.
Okay, because yeah, I it's just four is the one that I just have no recollection of. The fifth one I remember just because it's the most recent one that I've watched, but I remember it because of the Uncanny Valley CGI, Johnny Depp in it, and that's really about it that I remember. I do remember vaguely the villain and stuff, but the first one is a great movie, and I
First
love
one's a
it.
lot of
It's a
fun.
classic. Yeah. But speaking of movies, I finally got to watch Avengers: Infinity War.
There you go. Did you cry?
Did I cry? No, I didn't cry, but
Did your kids cry?
no, it was just me and my wife. We
Oh, did your wife cry?
no, but that was a sad moment at the end. But for weeks, I've been reading, people's theories about the movie and stuff, and one of the prevailing theories is that the Hulk that made it back to Earth, or the Bruce Banner that made it back to Earth, isn't actually Bruce Banner. It's actually Loki disguised as Bruce Banner, and I don't get that theory at all. I
Okay. All right, sure. In which case, why would he be faking not being able to turn into the Hulk when he could just turn into the Hulk or at least make a Hulk
Yeah.
illusion.
Well,
Uh,
one of
or
the
and where's Banner
yeah,
if that's Loki?
but one of the things that one of the defenses of that is that Loki knows that if he pretended to turn into the Hulk and then he didn't perform up to expectations, people would suspect something. So he instead pretends to not be able to turn into the Hulk. And but I'm watching the film with this in mind. I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, there's nobody around at this point. So why is he pretending to, if he's Loki, why is he pretending to turn into the, or trying to, why is he trying to pretend to turn into the Hulk or pretend to trying to turn into the Hulk?
Yeah,
Weird.
it seems
You know,
weird. I'm not even sure
why would
where
he
that
be
one came
doing
from.
that? Why would he be doing that if nobody is around? I can understand doing that in the presence of other people, but he's by himself and he's there arguing with the Hulk, trying to get the Hulk out. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But
So, what's your theory on why the Hulk won't come out? Is it because he's embarrassed that he got his butt kicked by Thanos, or is he tired of Banner using him? He's like, no,
um,
you're just using me to smash things. I don't like it. You do it yourself. Meh. Either way, he's
I don't.
pouting, but
Yeah, I think it's more he's afraid. Like he got his butt, soundly handed to him by Thanos, and that was just with one stone. I don't even think Thanos used the stone when he kicked Hulk's butt. And so and considering the Hulk has developed a fair level of intelligence over the course of his time on Sakaar and up to Thor Ragnarok, um, I think he knows that if he got that beat by Thanos without Thanos using the Infinity Stones, then he has absolutely no chance with Thanos using the Infinity Stones. So he just doesn't want to come out. But yeah, I think he's scared. I think that's what it is, and it's going to take some couples counseling to convince the Hulk to help in
all
the
right.
movie. Either that or the Hulk's going to have his heroic triumphant return in the next movie where he realizes that the only way they're actually going to win is if he gets out there and actually helps.
Yeah.
So
So Dizzy, you're gonna have to be a little bit more explicit on what you're questioning there, buddy. Um, yeah, I've seen some concept art of what is apparently official concept art for. It's actually not concept art. I think it was sales art of a lot of the characters from the Infinity War Part Two or whatever they end up calling it. And Hulk has like a full body outfit in this one. It's pretty interesting. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, the movie ended. A lot of people, oh my gosh, I can't believe the ending. I was like,
it's
I don't
kind of
know. That's
the only
exactly what I
ending they
expected.
could have gone
I mean,
with.
yeah, that's exactly what I expected to happen at the end. The snap happens, half the cast goes away. I'm a little annoyed that the half that stayed is the all of the original Avengers. Plus, I think Rocket,
Yeah,
Gamora.
no, Gamora's dead.
I'm sorry,
She died. Nebula.
Nebula,
Nebula,
Nebula.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Rocket and Nebula are the only two Guardians cast members
Mhm.
left. And then you have um, the head of Black Panther's personal guard. I think it's
Okoye,
yeah, Okoye. She's left. And
Rhodey stuck around, didn't he? War Machine.
did War Machine stick around? I
Because
don't remember.
Bucky pasted or dusted.
I did.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Panther dusted. Uh,
We never saw anything about Black.
Falcon dusted. So yeah, I think it was
Falcon.
Rhodey who
Yeah, Rhodey. I
I
think
think
Rhodey
he's still around.
is still around.
Yeah, Chaos says
Um,
Rocket and War Machine.
yeah, and we didn't see anything about Black Panther's little sister Shuri, so she might still
Hopefully
be
she's
around.
fine.
Yeah.
Who knows
It,
if any of the defenders are still around?
yeah. But Vision
Who knows if
is
Hawkeye should be fine.
Vision is dead. But if she's
Twice.
around, then he might be able to be revived for the next film.
Hmm.
So yeah. But yeah,
He got killed twice in that movie. That kind of sucks.
yeah. That did suck.
But I
I
mean,
was more devastated about Vision than I was about any of the characters getting dusted. But yeah, I think I think they went with keeping the majority, or I guess really all of the original cast, because
passing of the baton kind of thing.
yeah, it's going to be the passing of the
Yeah.
baton kind of thing. A couple of them are going to die, and in order to save the rest of them, and
Yeah, let's see whose contract isn't renewed.
yeah,
Let's see. Chris Evans seems to be kind of done with this stuff. Robert Downey Jr. is expensive, and he's done a bunch of these.
yeah.
So
Chris
yeah,
Hemsworth
I have a
might,
feeling it's going to
yeah,
be a hand. But that's okay. I'm
yeah,
sure it'll be fun.
yeah.
And that's, let's see. I think Captain Marvel is in March, and then Infinity War is
It's
May.
in May, I think so. I believe it's March and May, and then Spider-Man's that next August,
Summer.
summer. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
August.
I think so.
So yeah. So
So I
Spider
mean, I
will
guess
come
it
back to
does
life.
somewhat. Yeah, I
He's
guess
got
it.
a movie coming,
Yeah, I mean, you watch the movie, it's like they're already shooting the next Spider-Man.
and Black
Oh,
Panther.
and they're making another Black Panther, so he'll be back. So I guess it takes some of the punch out of it. But Scotty says, "Here's the big question: does Iron Fist survive?" Well, we
Well,
can only hope.
here's the better question: does anybody care?
No.
Yeah, I think.
Although, yeah, I mean, people have been saying, "Hey, man, Iron Fist season 2 on Netflix looks like it's going to be better." I'm like, how could it not be?
Well, yeah, of course, because they're actually putting Danny Rand in a mask so that they can substitute a stunt double in there. And
Yeah, did you see the trailer for season 2?
yeah, I did. Yeah.
There's this line in it where I'm pretty sure it's Danny Rand who says this. It sounds like me. He says, I didn't choose to be Iron or something. I didn't choose to be Iron Fist. I didn't want to be Iron Fist. I didn't ask to be Iron Fist. Something like that. I'm like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You trained your whole life specifically for that. You
Yeah.
went and fought the dragon that you're constantly talking about. You did that on purpose to become the Iron Fist. Don't give me this. Oh, this was a burden put upon me. I didn't know you gaslighting ass.
Well,
Maybe it works in context. I don't know.
he didn't choose to move to Kunlun and start a life there.
Okay, so
Once,
sure.
but
Once
once
I
he
was
got
on
there,
Kunlun, I felt I had to become the Iron Fist, but I didn't ask to be.
yeah,
I cut kind of
that
an
would be,
important
yeah.
bit of context out of there.
Yeah, that's what I got from that. Is that he
Okay,
didn't
sure.
choose to go to Kunlun, but becoming the Iron Fist, I guess he felt was the only way he was going to be able to get out of Kunlun. And
I kind of liked Zen Danny Rand in his one episode in Luke Cage season 2.
yeah, I was hoping he was going to be around for more than just one episode. And
Yeah, he's like, all right, Luke, that's my cameo. Bye. You seem fine. I'm going back up uptown or downtown or right town, wherever the hell he's going. And then I watched the preview for Iron Fist, and he's broody Rand again. I'm like, oh god, that's Colleen, you can do.
I wonder if this is going to be if Iron Fist season 2 is going to be a taking place at like the same time or something. But
You have to wonder, in one of these Netflix shows, the dusting has to happen, right? They've got to refer to, half the. Maybe not. Maybe they'll just say, this all took place before Infinity War, and Infinity War 2 is going to take place immediately after, and they fix the whole thing within a day, so that's why it's never mentioned in any of the other shows.
Yeah. Because we got the Netflix series, and we've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then Runaways is another in-universe show. I think there was one more. Oh, Cloak and Dagger is another in-universe show. And but yeah, the ties between Runaways and Cloak and Dagger with the larger MCU is a lot thinner than
Yeah, I think Agents of Shield is probably the only. If any of them reference the dusting, it's going to be Agents of Shield. In fact,
yeah,
it did tangentially mention the Thanos ship or that big ring thing that appeared over New York in Infinity, where they're like, "Dude, did you hear about that weird spaceship in New York?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's
yeah.
far out, right?"
And the whole Graviton episode or its arc was basically their connection to Thanos and Infinity War because
Yeah,
um,
they're obliquely referencing the coming of Thanos.
yeah, and that's what Graviton was wanting to do was to get stronger so that he could fight Thanos and defeat him.
Matthew says, done with Marvel for a long time, all action, no world, hard to care. Can't say it. I I disagree with you with every fiber of my being, buddy.
I think they do. They're doing a far better job at world building than
And
DC.
character, because I love these characters. My favorite things about the movie are not the action things, which I think are range from kind of weak to pretty okay. My
Yeah,
favorite parts are just all the cool characters interacting with each other because I genuinely like the characters. But, you know, if it's not your speed, it's not your speed. Um,
yeah. You know, because I don't think you could ever get moments like Spider-Man introducing himself to Doctor Strange. Hi, I'm Peter Parker. I'm Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our made up
made
name.
up names.
In that case, it's
Spider
Spider.
Man.
You know that there's that line.
Uh-oh. Zachary.
Did you?
There you go. Your feed paused for about 10 seconds there.
And then there was another moment in that where Thor was introducing uh, Groot to Captain America, and this is my friend Tree, and Groot's over there beating up some generic alien guys. He goes, "I am Groot."
Yes. I am Steve Rogers.
You know, that was just
Great.
great moment.
I
So,
love I really loved it when Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange met up with the Guardians.
yeah,
Those interactions were hilarious. It's like, where's Gamora? Iron Man is, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? And Drax chimes in, I've got one. Why is Gamora? They all stare at him. It's like, just, I, I can't even with this guy.
yeah, still stand by Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, the
Yeah,
cartoon? That's fantastic. It's a
it was
shame it
great.
can't be
Yeah,
well
yeah,
worth time. It always amazes me when someone says, "Here is something good. Let's kill it." You know, why? No, it's good. People like it. Do it. Do more.
yeah. I feel the same way about Spectacular Spider-Man. You know that was the very short-lived series at the early of the early part of the century, and after the '90s Spider-Man, it's the best Spider-Man we've had so far. I think the current Ultimate Spider-Man was just garbage, and the one we have going right now is not all that great, but. Why is Gamora was ad libbed? Okay.
Oh, I've heard that Dave Bautista's throwing out his own ideas a lot too. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. Why is Gamora? And the funniest thing is just the reaction. Just everyone just the world's ending, but everyone just stops and stares at Drax. It's like, what? So,
Yeah, and Drax is trying to be invisible by standing very still. I love that.
and then Mantis walks up. Hi, Drax. He's like, God damn it! Walks off in a huff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It
So
is.
sorry if we've spoiled a movie that came out several months ago, but
That's
There you go. Probably.
it just came out on video like
Oh, that's
last.
right. Like
So
last week,
yeah,
2 weeks ago, something. It's been on video for a little bit. So,
yeah.
um, yeah. Did you see Ant-Man and Wasp?
I have not seen that yet.
Also a fun movie.
Yeah, I hear good things about it. I was actually kind of surprised to learn that I've actually seen the actress that plays Ghost in other shows. I'm like, for the longest time, I'm like, okay, she looks familiar, but I don't know where I've seen her before. And then
Who?
um, forget her name now.
Well, who are we talking about? Wasp?
Ghost.
Oh, Ghost. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't even know her name. I think it's got a K in it.
yeah, it's got a K in it, but I cannot remember the actress's name now, just off the top of my
Maybe
head.
Ghost will be in Infinity War and help kick Thanos' Infinity War 2 and help kick Thanos' butt if she didn't get dusted.
Hannah John Kamen.
There you go.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've seen her.
she is the one of the lead actresses or lead actors in a sci-fi series called Killjoys, and that's
Hmm.
where,
Not
uh,
familiar with her.
I'm familiar with from her with. And actually, she was in Ready Player One as well, and I think that's where I saw the character, saw the actress. I'm like, okay, who is that? I've seen that actress before, but I can't place it. And then I looked it up, and it was like Killjoys. Oh, and she's Ant-Man and Wasp too. Okay, so yeah, she's a good actress. I like her. So
Hmm. Matthew says apparently Disney has a 50 episode rule, so regardless of how popular a show gets, they keep actors, etc., from demanding too much. I've not heard that, but that does sound like something a mega corporation would definitely do. But then again, Disney, you have all the money, so spend it. You know, jeez.
so
But then again, it's kind of weird. I guess they since what's his Fred Tascator or whatever his name is, who does the Hulk in so many of the shows. When it switches from Earth's Mightiest Heroes to Avengers Assemble or whatever the next show was, did they just renegotiate and start them from scratch?
I don't know.
I don't know. Kind of odd. Let's see. Yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp I liked quite a bit. Had a bit of a telling instead of showing problem. Uh,
Yeah.
there's a bit about halfway through the movie where the bad guy literally ties the main characters to chairs and then monologues at them and tells her whole backstory. I'm thinking, that, you know, I mean, at least it flashes back to kind of show it to you. But I'm thinking it, there had to have been a more elegant way than stopping the movie cold, literally tying down the main characters, and here's my backstory. I think that it could have been a more elegant way to communicate that, but oh
Yeah.
well, still a pretty fun movie. Um,
I
all
look
right,
forward.
yes, you should because it's good. Let's see. Okay, so first topic. I mentioned that I bought, um, or I guess I implied that I bought a Yakuza Kiwami 2, and that comes out on Tuesday, I believe, and I pre-ordered it, which Amazon, it's Amazon Prime initiative or user benefits subscription service. It costs like $100 a year. One of the perks, as of I think like today's the last day or something like that, but one of the perks is if you pre-order a video game, it's 20% off. Whee! So you can get a $60 game for $48. Yakuza Kiwami 2 was $50, so I got it for even less. Yay! Um, but they're changing that now. They are, instead of taking 20% off of all video game pre orders, now select pre orders will earn you a $10 Amazon gift certificate or gift card or
Eh,
Amazon bucks.
Emotional credit. Yeah. It's
There you
basically
go.
$10 in your Amazon wallet, if you want to call it that.
Oh, I'm absolutely going to blame Amazon, Matthew. I don't care if that's most of their cut gone. Jeff Bezos is worth what, $27 billion? He can cover it. I'm not really losing any sleep. It's so expensive. Oh, blow it out your butt. But here's my thought. I'm like, okay, so we are reducing the value of the perks of this program. So we're compensating by lowering the yearly subscription by zero. Zero. You're just making the service less valuable.
Yeah,
All right then. Golly, there's an incentive. I mean, that was like the only perk I was ever interested in,
yeah.
which is why I don't have Amazon Prime. I just know people who do, and I say, hey, here's my credit card. Buy these games for me so I can get a discount. Now I guess I can't do that. I don't imagine that the $10 promotional credit can be forwarded to someone else. I think it's probably tied to your own
Yeah,
account.
it'd be tied to your Prime account. Yeah.
So I can see why they do that because I'm sorry, it's my fault. It's probably is. It's probably people like me who are abusing the system by having other people buy stuff for them.
See,
But
the value I find in Amazon Prime is in the free shipping, the Prime shipping, and then I also, we watch Amazon Prime Video, so and that's all rolled into the package, and so yeah, we'll find a lot of value in it. I'm not a pre-ordering kind of guy. I don't pre-order games. I buy games at least 3 years after they released because
mhm.
that's how lazy I am and how
Well,
slow.
Yakuza Kiwami 2, I have to have it now.
Yeah.
Some
Um,
games I have to have now.
but yeah, if I were the pre-ordering type, Amazon's program would have been the where I would have pre-ordered stuff, and now I'm just like, yeah, never going to pre-order. No longer have an incentive to pre-order.
Yeah.
So
Matthew's pointing out that the other perk is well, there's actually several perks. None of them hold any appeal to me. Even the one Matthew's touting is the free 2 day shipping. That's great, but I mean, it's probably more valuable depending on where you live. I live in San Diego. I get stuff from Amazon within a couple of days, so free 2 day shipping don't mean anything to me. The
yeah,
longest I ever wait for anything is like maybe 5 days. So I can wait an extra couple of days. I'm not going to pay an extra $100 a year just to get stuff a couple of days quicker. That's just me, though. Also, other than the tick, there's nothing on the Amazon streaming service that I really want to watch.
I
So
bet,
that doesn't appeal to me either.
well, right now, as far as
Oh,
I'm
and they have ads? Oh, well, hell with it then.
huh?
Like
No.
Hulu.
Uh, Amazon Prime Video doesn't have ads. I watch it. We don't watch ads. Um,
Oh,
oh,
he's talking about Twitch. Sorry.
yeah, and Twitch is all part of this as well. But going back,
Amazon bought it,
yeah,
right?
huh?
Amazon bought Twitch, right?
Yeah, Amazon owns
Yeah.
Twitch. But earlier, Addicted to Chaos said they were probably pressured by publishers, and I wouldn't put it past
I
publishers.
don't know why they would, because that cost was not passed to the publishers. I don't think. I think
Amazon paid the
GameStop was eating.
price. Yeah, Amazon paid the wholesale price.
I would think, yeah.
Getting all of their cut. So Amazon was the only one that was making less money off of this. In fact, if they were paying, it ended up if they were spending more than $12 to run this promotion, I could understand. Like if it cost them $13 in order because I don't know if that's really the way to put it, but like say they bought a game from a publisher for $49 and they were giving the $12 discount. Yeah,
They're
they're
eating a buck.
eating a buck. So I guess yeah, technically would cost them $13 because otherwise they would have made $12 instead of spent one. But I can understand if that was the case. Then I guess that's what they would have to do. But other than that, I don't really see why they would hurt themselves that way. But make their product less valuable. But
I don't know.
then
You'd think that instead of decreasing the value of the service, they just, you know, raise the price a little bit.
Well, they have raised the price. That's one of the other
No,
problems.
no.
Is the in the last year they've increased the annual subscription.
Oh, is it? What is it now? I thought it was 99 last I looked. Is it
I
more than
think it,
that now?
I think it is, but I don't know. But I do remember them increasing the price of
Well, I know they increased the amount of stuff you have to put in your shopping cart before you get free shipping.
yeah.
That used to be like 25 bucks. I think they bumped it up to 35 and then I think they increased it further or something like that.
I
Oh, is
think
it 120 now? Okay.
um, but yeah. So
Oh, they
yeah.
increased month to month. All right.
Okay.
Instead of the annual thing.
Yeah. But yeah, and going along with this is that Twitch had a $10 a month Twitch Prime subscription where you could watch all the Twitch streams you wanted and didn't have to watch ads. But that's going away now. Now you can still pay $10 a month, but you'll still watch ads. I don't know
Wait,
what.
what on Twitch would you be watching that has ads?
Just the streams. They would have like overlays and
Wait,
and
what?
ads
When
like
I
on.
when I stream to Twitch, are there ads?
I don't know.
It
I think that's
shouldn't
probably
be.
something
I didn't think there were. Maybe that's just for like super popular people who can monetize their Twitch streams.
Yeah.
I'm
I,
not
I
super
haven't.
popular, so I don't do that.
I haven't
I would
tried.
if I could.
Yeah. Oh, let me.
I can't say I blame them for changing it from the way they do it to uh, Amazon bucks tied to your account to prevent jerks like me from buying stuff, using
Yeah.
someone else's account to get perks that I'm not paying for. Um, so I mean that makes sense, but it just means that I have even less incentive to actually buy the thing now. It's like, oh well, this isn't people instead of Andrew instead of buying a subscription to Amazon Prime, he's using a friend's Amazon Prime. We should make Amazon Prime even less attractive to him. Okay, well, here's what happens. Uh, I still don't subscribe to Amazon Prime, and now I buy less stuff through my friend, so you make less money. That's the way you want to play it there,
Yep.
Amazon. It's fine.
Yep. But okay,
Hi,
so
Rotten Tanuki.
I'm looking at Twitch, an article on Polygon about the Twitch thing, and I'm already confused. But Twitch
Mhm.
Prime members can continue to watch ad free until October 15th, and that's when it'll roll the ads back into your thing. But you can still subscribe to an ad free service, which is Twitch Turbo, but um, that doesn't include a lot of the other stuff like Twitch Prime subscribers get free games and in-game loot every month. So I guess that would be the incentive to still go with Twitch Prime. But yeah, I'm not sure how that's all worth it. And so if you want ad-free viewing and all the free games, you would have to subscribe to Prime and Twitch Turbo. So which almost doubles how much you're spending each
Yeah.
month.
I just, maybe it's the fact that I've only got so much money to spread around. I mean, if I was pulling in 100 grand a year or something like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll get some Netflix, I'll get some Shutter, I'll get some Filmstruck, I'll get Amazon Prime, I'll get all this stuff because I make 100K a year. Who cares? It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. But I don't make that much, so I have to be a little bit more judicious with my spending. Although I did just spend 130 some dollars pre-ordering a bunch of games. So I pre-ordered Yakuza Kiwami 2, uh, the the Yakuza Fist of the North Star. I know that's not what it's called, but that's essentially what it is. Not a fan of Fist of the North Star. Not that I dislike the property. I'm just not a fan. It's
Yeah.
fine. But I am a fan of the Yakuza games. And I figured, anything that might convince Sega to bring the other Yakuza games here, that Ishin and Kaisan, uh, I'm happy to help. And Dragon Quest 11. So that comes out, I think, September 4th, and the Fist of the North Star is like the end of September, beginning of October. There's a bunch of other games I would have pre-ordered, like the new Tomb Raider and Resident Evil 2 remake, and oh god, there's another one. Valkyrie Chronicles 4, but I didn't because they all have paid DLC, and I know this even though the games aren't out yet because the companies actually announced it. So I'm like, oh, I'll just wait until you release the full game. Um, so I've got a bunch of games to. Oh, I'm running out of room on my shelf of unplayed games. Stop buying games.
No,
Actually play
you
them.
do is you just build a bigger shelf and
Matthew, I subbed to Verve instead. $10 a month. Cur. Oh, Crunchyroll, Funimation, Rooster Teeth, First Shutter, and a few others are included. What is VRV?
I'm
Uh,
not-
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That looks now that we've finally seen some gameplay, that actually looks pretty cool. Worth it for the Crunchyroll Funimation sub alone. I don't know why anyone would sub to Crunchyroll because it's free. I mean, unless you really, well, I mean, subbing does get you, well, you can watch stuff in higher resolution and you can get it the day it comes out instead of a week later. But me, I'm happy. I watch it on the computer anyway, so I don't need to see it in a high resolution because I'm sitting right here in front of my monitor, and I can wait a week. So I'm a week behind on Attack on Titan. Eh.
yeah.
Chaos says the struggle is real. My PS2 shelves are completely full. Yeah, well, I've been a Nintendo guy all my life, and I got my first PlayStation a few years ago. So I've been buying all the stuff I've missed over the years. So I've got a lot of PS3 and PS4 games sitting over there that I haven't played.
Okay.
So let's switch topics,
All right.
and let's see. Let's talk about Valve makes Windows games playable on Linux with Steam Play. Oh man, this is your topic. The only thing I know about Linux is it's got a cute penguin.
Yes, it does. It is. It's a very, very cute penguin. So yeah, earlier this week, well, I guess this is a continuation of Valve's long-running plan to supplant Windows with Linux, I guess, because we all know, several years ago they introduced their Steam OS, which and their Steam boxes. Steam boxes never went anywhere, and Steam OS is still kicking around out there, but has nowhere near the market share that anyone nobody expected it to gain any market share, but hey, they at least tried, and but they support Ubuntu, which is nice, because that's the Linux brand, distribution that I use, um, and but unfortunately not all games run on Linux. It's sad, I know. um, but so this week Valve announced that they are making select games officially. They're officially supporting these games on Linux using their Vulkan, using the Vulkan. Um, I don't really want to call it. It's not a wrapper, but it's like Wine. If anybody's familiar with Wine, which is a way of allowing Windows software to run on Linux by translating calls for by translating calls to specific Windows functionality into Linux equivalents. But lots of stuff goes into it, and man, it's sometimes it can be a pain in the butt to get games to run through Wine. But Valve is taking the lead and doing this. They've got a nice set of games that they've released, or that they have they're specifically supporting for this move. Includes things like Bejeweled 2 Deluxe, Doki Doki Literature Club, Doom and Doom 2 Hell on Earth. Fallout Shelter's another one.
The old Doom and Doom 2. We should
Yeah. The
clarify.
old, not the new.
Use numbers in your sequels. Stop that.
Let's see what else. They got Final Fantasy VI. This is the crappy re-release or a remaster that Square Enix did. We got Stalker, Payday the Heist, Nier Automata, Tekken 7, and a whole bunch of other stuff too. But yeah,
I still need to get near Automata.
yeah. Well, this news makes me actually want to consider buying it. So that's why I
Well, if the demo and Matthew's high praise are any indication, it's well worth it.
yeah.
I'm buying it just based on the demo. I do appreciate your input, Matthew, but yeah, the demo sold me.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of good things about it, and so it's one of those games I don't have a console.
Don't believe the advertising. It's actually really good.
Yeah. But I don't have a console that runs it, and up until now, it was only Windows only on PC, and
Yeah.
so I'll actually give this a try. But the
A
great thing
whole new
about
world is about to open up for you, Zachary.
yeah, but the great thing about this is that Valve isn't just supporting these specific titles; they're making this available so that any game that you have in your library that's Windows only, you can install with Vulkan and play it. It's just these titles are specifically supported by Valve, and so yeah, you can. So you can still run anything. So I'm actually going to give it a try at some point next week, and see what I think with some of the games that I already own. Because there's a number of games that I've been wanting to play, and they only have Windows versions, and a couple of those were Humble Bundle games that I bought, and then the Linux versions never came to fruition. Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams is biggest the biggest the biggest offender to me. They just went completely silent on releasing that for Mac and Linux, and ticked me off for years. Now I might actually get around to playing it. Maybe that'll be my first game to try under this the Vulkan thing. But I'm excited for this. I think this is a great move, and and I think a lot of people will. I think this will make that transition from Windows to Linux gaming a little easier for gamers as well as game developers. So game developers can potentially see that there is a market and get an idea of how much they could make if they actually developed native Linux versions. Because that's my hope. My fear is that a lot of developers will just use this as an excuse to not make native Linux versions of their games because Valve has already taken care of that. You can just use the install on Linux with Vulkan, and I'm just like, yeah, don't do that, game developers. That's bad. So,
Matthew's concerned about a performance hit. What do you think?
well, I think any time that you have to you take something that doesn't run on a platform and then make it work, yeah, you're going to get a performance hit. I don't think that's something that really we can work around. That's where the native Linux ports come in. Come into the fray. Is like if you make a native app, you can develop specifically for it. But if you're having to use processor resources to translate DirectX to OpenGL, then yeah, you're going to take a little bit of a performance hit. Hopefully, it won't be as bad. I'm going to have to go back through this list of games and see if I own any of them. Excuse me. I know Fallout Shelter is free, so I'll take that one as a game that I'll give a shot at. Um, so click. So I'll add that one to my Steam library and see how that goes, and then I'll try a few other games and see what it's like. I'm not in the mood to boot up my Windows partition to do any bench testing, but if I see any performance issues with any of the games I try, it's something I'll definitely take into account. But hopefully, it's not as bad.
You know how in Toy Story all the toys get really lonely and depressed when their owners don't play with them because they have other newer toys or they grow out of them or such? I wonder if all the games in our Steam libraries feel the same way.
Sounds like something Wreck-It Ralph.
Someday Andy will be back to play with us, won't he?
Yeah,
Sure, Super Meat Boy.
like
Sure.
in the first Wreck-It Ralph game where he's panhandling in the surge protector because nobody wants to play the Q-Bird arcade game.
Yeah.
That's great. That's what I imagine all these games that I don't have installed are like.
You know, what's funny is a lot of the hype and advertising around Wreck-It Ralph 2 is revolving very heavily around what is reading to me like one scene in the movie, and it's the Disney princesses scene. That has always struck me as Vanellope goes, she sees the princesses, she lounges with them, and then she goes on her way. And maybe they come back at the very end. You see them cheering in the background or something. But it always struck me as that's one scene in the movie. But I have a feeling Disney's looking at this going like, guys, we should make a Disney princesses movie. You know?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised at how heavy the trailers are with the product placement that's in there.
Yeah, but it's all Disney product because Disney owns all now. So, well,
And
not all, but
all that, but yeah, basically every place they visit is a Disney property, but still,
mhm.
there's still a lot of product placement from other services out there. But
Yeah. It's amazing that Ralph and Vanellope don't just keep tripping over porn as they try and make it through the internet. But yeah, it's a PG movie. I guess I
totally
can understand. It's like this isn't realistic at all, Disney. They'd be tripping over porn left and right. They'd walk onto the internet going, "Oh God, unclean! I must shower."
yeah,
This Wreck-It Ralph 2 movie, not realistic. Took me out of the film.
yeah, fun stuff.
All right. So Bloomberg had a interview with Shigeru Miyamoto, your friend and mine,
Yeah,
and I'm not really a fan of the way Bloomberg wrote it up because they just kind of described what he was saying rather than quoting the man, which um,
include
I would
you,
prefer.
but they don't. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not calling Bloomberg liars or bad reporters, but most of the articles, and he said this. I'm like, did he? Did he really? Can I see the quote? I'm sure it was in Japanese, but I'd be happy with just the translated quote. That's fine.
yeah,
But there's like three quotes in there. The one that stuck out to me, he's talking about uh, pricing games, specifically mobile games, and the lead the title of the article is Miyamoto tells the gaming industry, "Don't be too greedy." And one of the quotes
yeah.
that stuck out, it says, "I can't say that our fixed cost model has really been a success, but we're going to continue pushing it forward until it becomes entrenched. That way, everyone can develop games in a comfortable environment by focusing on bringing games to the widest range of people possible. We can continue boosting our mobile game business." Now, what this is talking about is the fact that Super Mario Run,
Is
which was not an endless runner, but
it
God,
was
I
an
don't know,
auto
40
run.
level game. It's an auto runner, but it's finite stages. There's like 40 stages in the game, but specifically well crafted stages, and they charge $10 for it.
Yeah. And it's
That
their lowest
did,
performing mobile
yeah,
title
it,
to
it
date.
didn't go over so well. People felt it seemed to feel that that was over what was asking more than they want, and said, instead of charging me $10 and giving me access to the entire game, I'd really like you to nickel and dime me to the point where I'm paying over $100 for the game. That's what I would prefer, said mobile gamers. Said non-mobile gamer, what? Are you out of your damn mind? No, gamers really see, or mobile gamers rather, on the whole, seem to prefer microtransactions and paying much
Yeah.
more than $10
Which,
for the privilege to continue
yeah.
playing the game rather than just here's $10, I get the whole game, we're done.
Yeah, and this is really exemplified by the fact that Fire Emblem Heroes is their most successful mobile game, and that one is built on the whole gotcha system, where it's you pay money to buy blind bags of characters, basically,
Yeah,
and uh, and that's I played the game.
it's also not
It's pretty
fun.
shallow. It's not all that fun. I I was able to get a solid team of 5-star characters and beat all the story content, and I was done. I was just like, I
It
have no interest in all of these challenge maps.
Yeah, it's a strategy game with no strategy. The strategy is, are
Hit
you a
auto
high enough
and
level?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
if you're not, you will lose. I don't care how strategic you're playing.
Yeah.
Um,
Get 4-star or get 4 5-star characters, hit auto, and just and watch the gameplay itself. That was the whole thing. But man, that game has made like $100 million or something. I
and
forget.
according to Matthew here, data shows that only 2% of the players are actually paying anything. And that's kind of weird that
That's
everyone paying
pretty
10
typical.
bucks is less than 2% of everyone paying lots of money.
Yeah,
It's like, I mean, if that's where the money is, I guess it can't fault you. But
yeah,
here's the
and
thing: Super Mario Run is a pretty decent little mobile game. It's fun. Uh, Fire Emblem Heroes
Heroes. Yeah, I believe
is
it's Heroes.
not.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
really, unless you're just, I mean, it's kind of like I don't know what you're paying for other than kind of a collectible card game, like buying Garbage Pail Kids or baseball cards or something, because you're just putting money in to try and draw your favorite characters. What are you going to do with them? They're just kind of images. So you're gambling, I guess, for JPEGs that you can probably get on the internet. Of course,
yeah,
even worse is the Animal Crossing game, which is the same kind of, hey, pay money to do anything in this game except we've taken all of the gameplay out of the game. So now you have Fire Emblem, which is bad gameplay. Animal Crossing is just no gameplay.
yeah.
It's pick stuff up off the ground is the gameplay. That's it. And pick stuff
And
up and
they
hand it to other
perform. Yeah,
characters because they are way too lazy. Because you're the only thing that you do in the game is do errands for characters, and a character's like, "Hey, buddy, I could really go for an apple," and you're like, "There's an apple tree right there. You're literally standing right next to an apple tree. Go. Okay, walk, walk, walk. Shake the tree, pick up the apple. Here, that's the game. You want to pay money to do that faster? All right."
yeah. And going back to Super Mario Run, man, most of the complaints I saw were
My
from.
complaint was always on, which is bullshit.
Yeah, that's BS. But pricing wise, though, paying money is like just about everybody that I read who complained about it. They're like, if Nintendo just charged $10 outright, I would have paid that. But the fact that they stopped the game after the third level and told me that I could only continue after I paid $10, that's just too far. I'm just like,
Do you have no concept of demo?
if you would have paid $10 without playing a demo, why? what's wrong with paying $10 after playing the demo? It's like you're still paying $10. What what's wrong here? What you know? And
Kind of
and
reminds me of the Fatal Frame game that released on the Wii U. They released the first two chapters of the game as a free demo, and then
mm,
you could pay, I think, $50 for the rest of the game. No one bought it, partially because it's Wii U, partially because it's a fairly niche title, and partially because I don't think anyone wanted to pay $50 for that game. And they have never put that game on sale. I thought the game was kind of neat. I would have liked to play the rest of it, but yeah, for $50. I'm like,
yeah,
come on, Nintendo, Halloween sale, $20. No one else is buying it. You're getting no money for this. Don't you want some money instead of no money?
yeah.
Apparently not.
Yeah, Matthew says mobile players just don't like paying outright for games,
Except
and
that's what you're doing with microtransactions. You're
yeah,
paying more, silly widgets.
yeah, and I can understand that mindset because we have been conditioned as consumers to expect the lowest possible starting price for games on mobile phones. It started with with the absolute flood of games that entered the iTunes market. And because of that flood, there was a race to the bottom, and which kind of for a while leveled the price for games at $1. And then from there, the only way to go was zero
Yeah.
upfront, and that's where we ended up. And it's just like, how do you make money off of a $0 game? Ads or microtransactions? And microtransactions seem to be the preferred method over ads.
Thanks, mobile gamers. You ruined it for everybody
Yeah,
except other mobile gamers who prefer it that way.
yeah. But and now all of that is bleeding into our console space, where console games now not only charge you up front, but then they have the gall to nickel and dime you further for it. Yeah, it's like, here, but pay $60 for this game. Oh, and by the way, there's another $80 worth of content you can buy afterwards. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually the game it's the costumes. I'm like, oh man, because I love costumes. But I'm not gonna drop $180 on this game just to get all the costumes.
yeah. But I don't
Or a
mind the
thousand
freedom.
dollars to get all the
Yeah.
train tracks or whatever that one game was.
Yeah. But I honestly don't mind the free to play aspect with microtransactions as long as the microtransactions are capped. I think that the Pokemon Company is doing a
Mm.
pretty good job with games like Magikarp Jump and
Pokemon
Pokemon
Picross.
Quest, Pokemon Picross, where it's like you can spend, $5 here and there, but once you spend $35, you have enough of whatever in game to unlock everything in the game.
Right.
And that to me is a great model. I like that business model because
I
you
beat Pokemon Picross without spending a cent. It took me like 10 months, but I beat it without spending it. It was a
yeah,
game in and of itself.
yeah. That's how
Chaos is pointing out $700 or so for a Dead or Alive 5. Yeah, I was browsing through the PlayStation Store at one point, and it just endless rows of Dead or Alive. I'm like, what is all this? And I went into it, I'm like, oh my god, that's all costume packs, and it's like $5 for 3 costumes, and there's a million of them. I'm like, oh my god.
yeah.
I see that, and I'm like, okay, not even bothering with this game. So
Yeah. And then there's there's some train game on Steam that has over $10,000 worth of DLC, and that's crazy. It's like, yeah, that's where they make their money, is by releasing new train engines and cars and tracks
which
or whatever. I don't know. And
which is fine, but I kind of like the way that the Pinball FX or whatever it is doing, because they just there's no real base game. It's just you keep buying
New pinball
packs of
tables.
pinball tables. Whichever one you want. Star Wars, you got your Star Wars tables. You want Jurassic Park, you got your Jurassic Park tables. And that seems right to me.
Yeah, that seems
Because
fair to me.
it's only
Yeah.
a few bucks per table, and there's no real. It's not like you paid $60 for a base game and then you're paying $5 for every table. No, it's just you buy one pack and you've got the game, and you just add tables as you want them. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
6 or 7 season passes of costume DLC. This chaos,
Wow.
yeah. I forget who was talking about it. I didn't look into it, but I got a whiff of a pre-order for a season pass. I'm like, wait, what? I don't know if this is true. I mean, that totally sounds like something that would happen, but I'm like, a pre-order for a season pass? A season pass is a pre-order. You're pre-ordering the stuff that usually you don't even know what it is.
Yeah, that's
It's the
hilarious.
DLC we might come out with.
Yeah.
Which is why I
Yeah.
waited so long to pull the trigger on Breath of the Wild, because we didn't really have a solid idea of what the DLC would be until the final DLC pack came out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there's a motorcycle in it. Cool. Which is something that I would have liked for the beginning of the game, because Link is a bit of a slowpoke. He's
Yeah.
actually not terribly slow. He's just a skosh slower than I think he should be. Um he's like being stuck behind someone driving 38 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. Yeah, it's only 2 miles an hour. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, but oh my God, go faster! you know, that's what it feels like to run
Yeah.
across the great expanse of Hyrule. To me, I'm like, oh my God, Link, get the lead out. Just a
Yeah,
little
and see, this
faster.
is one of those things too. It's like you play an RPG and they start you off at the walking pace, but you can like hit the circle button or B button or A button or whatever to run, and then you
Mhm.
go into the menu and there's the auto run option. I always turn that on. It's like, why isn't that the default option? Who plays these games at a walking pace? Nobody plays these games at a walking pace. They want the auto run always on.
It's
Uh,
like it's like, why do I have to hold down the button to get Mario to run? And in the old the 2D side scrolly ones, it's like, does anyone naturally just walk through Super Mario Brothers until they can't clear a gap? Um, yeah, I'm actually writing a series of videos on all the things I don't like about Breath of the Wild. I'm calling this series "Bad Breath of the Wild."
nice.
Um, I'm actually writing the first. I've been writing and rewriting the first episode of that series for like 2 weeks, and it's been really hard for me to crack. I think I've finally cracked exactly how I want to do the first episode. Um, and I'm thinking maybe like hopefully I'll have enough done that I can start releasing them in like October or something. But the the first episode was tough for me because I was trying to talk about how the game, I don't feel, does a great job at explaining itself, like
Yeah.
its own system and mechanics. And in order to do that, I really have to spend a lot of time explaining what I mean by that. And I'm like, I don't want it to be a half an hour video of me explaining why the game doesn't explain things well. But I think I finally cracked a way to do that. The rest of the videos should be fairly simple because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, here's what I don't like about the horse. This done. You know, so look forward to those videos. Hopefully at some point. Oh, by the way, I was one of the videos should be about Link's land speed.
Yeah.
And one of the things is he can sprint, but he can only sprint for 4 seconds before he has to slow down to refill his stamina meter. And the previous game, Skyward Sword, he has a sprint in it. I'm like, he could sprint for longer than 4 seconds in Skyward Sword. So I turned on Skyward Sword earlier this week just to check out the sprint. And yeah, Link could sprint about double that, 7 or 8 seconds in Skyward Sword. And the land area you traverse in Skyward Sword is a lot smaller than Breath of the Wild. So it seems kind of odd that they put him in a much bigger landscape and then
Yeah.
hamstrung his sprinting ability. I mean,
Yeah.
especially because it's a couple hours before you get your first horse. And you have to, and I'm like, start me out that motorcycle. That motorcycle looks awesome. I want I want that
Ride
motorcycle.
that motorcycle off the plateau.
Yeah, but I think even if you do buy the DLC, I think that's an end game thing. I think you have to beat the game to access the motorcycle. I'm like, yeah, but the motorcycle is what I want to use to play the game, to get around because it takes forever to get anywhere. The game is fine when you're just exploring, when you're just poking your nose and stuff, chasing squirrels and throwing rocks at bokoblins and stuff. It's when you have a specific destination in mind. Like, okay, enough faffing about, I want to go here now. It's like sailing in Wind Waker. It's pretty great until you want to go somewhere and then you realize it takes 2 solid minutes of doing nothing to get there. Wind Waker, I guess, is kind of worse because you could literally set the controller down and make a sandwich. Breath of the Wild is just, you just hold a direction on the control stick and put your head in your hand and you wait for Link to get there. Climbing is even worse. Oh god, he's so slow. And you
Yeah.
could say, well, it wouldn't be realistic if he climbed faster. It's like his current speed isn't realistic. The game isn't realistic. I don't care. I just want him to go faster because it takes too long.
Yeah.
They gave him a ton of tools to get around, though. Jump on a rock. Oh, and use the status. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah, there's a stasis thing where you can lock something in place and then smack it with a sword or hammer or whatever. And because it's held in place by magic rings or something, when you smack on it, it builds up kinetic energy in a particular direction. So you can smack on a rock and it builds up a lot of linear kinetic energy, and then you stand on the rock and the rock takes off with you on it. And that's fine if you have a rock and it, I mean, that I don't think that was really an intended mode of transportation by the developers. That's just kind of a consequence of the game's mechanics, and
Yeah.
it is really cool. I've seen people do that with, like, they've tree surfed, and there's other ways where you can, like, stack objects on top of each other and, like, drop a bomb underneath it, explode at the right time to get upward momentum and lock it in place and then smack it. And so it's like surfing across the land of Hyrule. It's pretty funny.
Dragon Ball, the original series when Goku was a little doofus kid,
Mm-hmm.
before he became a doofus adult.
Yeah.
There was one villain. I forget who it was, but there was when you first introduce him, he's like, "Okay, well, which direction do I need to go?" And whoever hired him was just like, "He's out that way." And so the villain he karate chops a stone pillar at the top and the bottom and pulls it out, and then lobs it in that direction, and then jumps on top of the pillar as it's flying, and he just rides that to the destination he's going. And I'm just like, huh, that's kind of crazy. But yeah.
Maybe I should make fun of the game by saying that Breath of the Wild does not do a great job of explaining itself. What do I mean by that? Well, if I were Breath of the Wild, I'd tell you to just play Breath of the Wild to figure out what I mean by that. Done. See, isn't that kind of frustrating? It doesn't really tell you anything, does it? Play the game, you'll see what I mean. You'll figure it out eventually.
I don't know the name
game tells you.
Matthew at like the Chaos. I know Goku and I know Krillin, and that's about as far as I can go with Dragon Ball characters.
Which is the one with the spiky yellow hair?
Well, I guess I could do Vegeta too, but
Vegeta, and there's Piccolo and Majin Buu, and
yeah,
and,
I
and the
might
guy in the brown gi.
out of a lineup, but and some of the other characters too. But I don't know most.
Well, of course you don't, because the show is utterly terrible by every conceivable metric.
I really enjoyed the fighting tournaments in the original Dragon Ball series, but that was
I'm talking about Z.
But
Z is just bad. I mean, like to the level of genuine storytelling incompetence. It's just
yeah,
bad in every conceivable way, from characterization to performance to art to animation to pacing to storytelling to story structure. Everything is bad. There is nothing redeemable about it. And yet, I know a lot of people who absolutely love the show. So good on them.
yeah,
Then again, I like Yu Yu Hakusho, which is this series you see right there behind me.
yeah.
And that's I've always described Yu Yu Hakusho as it's like Dragon Ball Z, except it doesn't completely suck in every conceivable way. But what's funny is a friend of mine is a big DBZ fan, and he hates Yu Yu Hakusho. So it's exactly the opposite.
Yeah,
Um,
but I own one Dragon Ball game, and it's Dragon Ball Budokai 2 for the
games
PlayStation
are pretty good
2.
though.
And I really enjoy that game. I main Krillin on that, and I kick butt. I have beaten story mode just using Krillin. So, well,
Matthew says
I can
DB.
use single character in story mode. I think you trade off character. Yeah, I main Krillin on that, and I kick butt. But
Matthew says DBZ is just professional wrestling. Yeah, it kind of is, just with more too much talking and not enough actual wrestling, which is
yeah,
kind of why I don't
exactly.
like wrestling either.
Well, you take a 1 hour wrestling match, a WWE wrestling match in Dragon Ball Z. That's an entire season arc, and and
Yeah,
they just draw it out. It's like 40 minutes of Goku powering up his weapon or his
but
attack. It's like okay,
then again, as slow paced as DBZ and to be fair, lots of other anime are, they ain't got nothing on soap operas. My mom and my sister, back in the day, they one of the soap operas that they really liked was a show called Passions, and I think I was out of the house at that time. I was at college, so I came back every weekend. Um, but I remember they were watching the show, and everyone was on a boat, a cruise ship, and one guy was like hiding in the closet because his girlfriend and a witch or someone were in the main room, and so he was hiding in the closet. And then I went home, and I came back like 3 weeks later, and they were watching Passions. And this is a syndicated show. It's a weekly, 5 days a week. So 15 episodes later, dude's still hiding in the closet. I'm like, oh my god, nothing has happened in the last month. Everyone is still exactly in the same place. So you think you know Dragon Ball Z is just guys tightening their sphincters for 6 episodes, going oh, just that for half an hour. Oh man,
yeah. See, I never got
soap
into
operas.
show 24 because of the whole concept of it. Each episode is one real life hour of this thing, and the entire season takes place over a 24-hour period. It's just that just seemed like a really dumb premise for a show, and didn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm just like, oh, okay, but
Well,
apparently people liked it. So
it's there's been 50, I came home, I'm like, there's been 15 hours of show since I last saw it. This guy's still in the closet. Only 5 minutes have passed in the last 15 hours. How do you do that? I mean, on the other hand, I guess that means that that's a very casual show. You can just watch it. You don't have, it's not report viewing. You can just watch it whenever. And since nothing ever happens, or it happens at a glacial pace, you'll never be lost because you can pick it up 3 weeks later. Oh, what was happening? Oh, the same thing that happened 3 weeks ago. Right. Okay. I didn't miss anything. So, but hey, if, no shame. If you like passions, or as Warren is saying here, all my children, good on you. I like a lot of terrible, terrible, terrible shows too. Speaking of which, I have not seen Giant Shark movie, The Meg, because it's PG-13. Yes, I'm that petty.
okay.
It's for the same reason I didn't go see that slasher flick, uh, uh, Happy Death Day, which is basically what if Groundhog Day was a slasher,
Yeah,
which sounds great. And I heard it was PG-13. I was like, eh, which is exactly why I didn't go see Aliens versus Predator because it's PG-13. I'm like, nope,
yeah. I don't know. I am.
I am that petty.
I'm curious about Meg. I hear
I
it's
am too.
cheese, but it's also fun cheese. But it's it's not Jaws, but it's not Sharknado either. So
Well,
it's we're in the middle there.
to be fair, if you're munched on by a shark, by a 70-foot shark or however big this shark is, he seems to change sizes depending on what shot in the movie he is. Um, there's not going to be a lot of evisceration or gore, or it's you're just going to be destroyed if that thing munches you. So
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be okay. Have I seen the Naughty Puppet movie? No. Even though that's rated R, I haven't seen it and I'm probably not going to see it because it looks terrible.
it does look
Um,
terrible,
it,
and the reviews that I have read have basically said that it does not live up to any of the potential it could have had because
it it looks like it's just one joke. Hey, do puppets swearing and doing drugs and talking about sex
sex.
funny?
Yeah,
Yes, but not for 90 minutes.
yeah.
You got to have
and
something else.
and
Imagine if
there's
Roger Rabbit, the entire 90 minutes or however long the movie is, revolved around the mechanics of Roger and Jessica having sex. That's kind of it's that is actually a joke in the movie. It's referred to that they are lovers, and you're like, how exactly does that work? And it's funny, but that's not the entire movie. If that was
yeah,
the entire movie,
exactly.
it would be a boring movie. And that looks like this is the entire movie, Happy Time Murders, which is a shame because I first heard about this movie years ago and I was really excited for it. I'm like, dude,
Oh
a
yeah,
film noir, with puppets, a Roger Rabbit extended of cartoons. It's with Jim Henson felt puppets. Sign me up. And then 2 months ago, the trailer came out and go, oh man, that looks awful.
terrible. Yeah,
And it
because
doesn't, not just the same joke, but it's like sh- the lighting is really flat and overlit like a television sitcom. It's got no style or personality. Maybe it's just really bad trailers. I don't know, but yeah,
review
that depresses me.
good.
I was looking
Um,
forward to that for years.
but yeah, after we've had Who Framed Roger Rabbit and the Muppet movie and the Muppet Caper. Those are probably the two
The
best.
puppeteering in the movie doesn't look that great either, especially the green screen effects. But the actual puppeteering, I'm like, I don't know. It looks okay, but it doesn't look great. I mean, Dark Crystal has some great puppeteering in it.
And that
Uh,
is
Labyrinth
amazing.
has great puppeteering in it. This 30 years later has okay puppeteering in it. Looks like again just from the previews I've seen. But so yeah,
But yeah,
viewers disappoint.
but like I said, with the great movies we've had in the past that had similar premises of fictional characters like puppets or cartoons or whatever living alongside of real life humans. You know, it's just does not look like it's ever going to live up to that potential. And I'm sure there's room out there for an R-rated film in that vein. It's just this isn't this isn't it. This isn't the good one.
Oh yeah, I mean, seeing a Jim Henson puppet saying the F word is shocking because it's not. It's weird. The juxtaposition of something that cute and cuddly being vulgar it can be a form of entertainment. But if that's the only thing you've got, that maybe that's enough for some, but that's not enough for me. Hopefully, I'm wrong about this because I would love it to be a great movie, but. Yeah, trailers don't look great, and the reviews I've seen, I've read one review where the reviewer said, "I don't know, I thought it was funny." and maybe it's just wall to wall raunchy fun. I mean, if the jokes are varied and are actually funny, but I mean, it sounds like they're just saying the same jokes over and over. Like, there's two scenes in the trailer alone where puppets are talking about Melissa McCarthy's penis, and she's like, I'm like, is this a running joke throughout the entire movie? Because it wasn't funny really either time. I mean, the idea seems to be that the puppets don't seem to realize Melissa McCarthy's a woman, and it's like, what is this a thing with puppets in this universe, or what is? Do you think Melissa McCarthy's androgynous at all? Because she's not, to
Yeah.
me anyway. It's just the joke doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, because the two characters are like, I'll give you this sexual service reserved for people with penises. And she goes, I'm a woman. And the puppets are like, well, that's cool. Like, they're like, really? Are you? Sure? It's like, are you nearsighted? What's wrong with you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it's good because I'm selfish and I've been looking forward to it for years, and I want it to be good. But oh well.
Yeah.
Uh, oh well.
Oh
So
well.
I guess we shall end the show here. So hey everyone, thanks for watching and or listening. So Andrew Eisen here, Eisen is how you spell the last name. Plug it into YouTube, find my videos, and follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. And I'm still gearing up for the Extra Life charity event, and I will let you guys all in on a little insider exclusive knowledge. Um, what I'll be playing this year is Breath of the Wild. My sister will be here. She bought me Breath of the Wild, and I didn't like Breath of the Wild. So I'm going to play Breath of the Wild with my sister for 24 hours straight to raise money for charity, and I hope you guys will join me. If you want to make an early donation, go to extralife.org. There's a hyphen in there, so extra-life.org. Search my name, make a donation. It's tax deductible, and all the money goes to Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego. Got some other neat incentives and things like that that I'm working on that I'll announce at a later date. So that's it for now. Tell your friends. Zachary, plug away.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night, where I talk about video games, politics, and other things. You can also follow my game development work at DK_gaming on Twitter and DivineKnightGaming.com. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com.
All right. You've been watching the 111th episode of Molehill Mountain. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.